Yep.
So why don't we dive straight in and tell me kind of, you've got such an incredible, like varied, vast career. I'd love to know how you first started and to how you got to the kind of level that you're at right now.
Well, actually, so when I was young, a long time ago, uh, so I grew up playing in church. Like I grew up as a drummer. Actually, that was my first instrument, and then switched over to bass as a teenager, and started learning some stuff pretty fast or whatever, just like learning church stuff or whatever. So honestly, I didn't expect this. Like this wasn't in my peripheral. Like, okay, I want to learn how to play bass so I can just travel the world. Because I come from a musical family, so everybody in my family, musically inclined for the most part. My mom sang and played keys. My dad played bass, drums, and guitar. He sang, and my cousins they sing. My aunts they have a gospel group. So it actually chose me. So
Yeah.
so the more I played, some people got in my ears like, yo, man, like Sheila E is having an audition, man. You should really go check it out. And I was like, Sheila E, and this is big Sheila E when she's doing Glamorous Life, Love Bazaar, where she's, not saying that she's not relevant. I'm not saying that at all, but careers, they go here, then it's like, but she has fans for life, so she'll be able to play until she doesn't want to play anymore. So I just mean like when she's on the radio all the time. So people are like, you should, come audition. I'm like, I don't know about that. So some people's like, yo, man, you can definitely get that gig. So I go to the audition, and when I tell you the audition was nuts, I'm talking about it was like a cattle call of musicians that I've seen on TV, like Arsenio Hall, Late Night, and Jay Leno. I'm like, I'm never getting a gig over that guy. You know what I mean? But I learned something that day that pretty much is carried me through my career. So what happened was some people brought some stuff to my attention because I'm kind of intimidated, just because of the arsenal that people are coming in there with. And so um, after I heard about 5 bass players, I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't even go in because like people are going nuts. They just like, whoa, 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 going crazy. And so somebody made a good comment. He said, okay, so what are you hearing? I'm like, I'm hearing dudes in there killing. And like, okay, do you hear anybody playing pocket? I was like, nah, do that. That's gonna set you apart. And so I'm like, okay. And so literally I went in with that mindset, and like it got to a point where she wouldn't let any other bass players come in the room. So that was the start, you know what I mean? So end up getting that gig, and from there it's pretty much, the whole networking thing. Like you might be on a gig, and maybe an opening band or somebody, maybe you're opening for someone, and they're like, yo, man, it's like, hey, where you from? I'm from Oakland, man. So hey, let's exchange numbers, man. I would love to get you on the hit with me. So it's really been like that kind of stuff. Like, yo, man, what are you doing from this date to this date? Like I'm pretty open. Like, you want to do this gig? Cool. So in all actuality, I would say my whole career, which has been like Sheila E was 92, so it's going on 30 years. So like I've probably done 3, 4 auditions at the most. Everything else has been like, yo, we saw what you did on this tour, we love to have you type of thing. You know what I mean? So
I
it's
mean,
been
there's no better like commendation for you than that, right?
yeah, it's like, that takes a lot of the pressure off, when it's like, okay, here's the music, learn it. As opposed to like, okay, you're going up against that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. Because now a lot of times you go in and you kind of take yourself out of your own element because you don't know what the artist is looking for. So you might feel like, okay, they're looking for a certain look, they're looking for a vibe, whatever. So you might go in there and just trying to vibe out like super hard. And maybe by you trying to vibe so hard, the musicianship suffers because like, the more you move, it's like you're not going to be as clean as if you're just focusing on playing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's pretty much been my whole journey, just like, call after call after call, thank God.